So we're dipping into the vintage vault today, and you will know this head. This is the Gait D, been very controversial, obviously because of these teeth. Now, this is not the first head to be designed by the Gait that had teeth that kind of latch on, and a lot of people have kind of complained about this. It's obviously banned in the NCAA. There's a Gait 2 on its way. Defenders love this head. It's fantastic. It's the first head that actually gives a defenseman a competitive edge in terms of his equipment. And the first head with teeth, I say first, this is actually the second generation, was actually the STX G-Force. So this is back when Gary Gait was actually doing a lot of design in terms of head design for STX. And you can see here, it's got teeth. Now, second generation, the first generation did not have these rubber overmold. Now, STX did a couple of different heads that have the rubber overmold. There was the Fuse, there was this, there was the Juice, and never really kind of understood personally what the overmold was meant to do, whether it's stop ball rattle. But with this one, you know, these teeth, you know, they did protrude quite a bit. Now, I think it may be the second generation, because the first generation ones, it was just, you know, it was too toothy, you know. Now, if you're of a certain age, you will know the name John Beadle. John Beadle was a defenseman here in the UK, and I've got to admit, I did my best to stay away from John Beadle because he had a G-Force. And I've no idea whether it was a Gen 1 or Gen 2 he used to play with, because as I said, I tried to stay clear of him. I think it's fair to say John was quite uncompromising in his checks. And, you know, these things, when they checked you, you know, they hit that little bit that a defender always seems to find that's between your arm pad and your glove, you know, and with these teeth, you know, oh, it came, no, it'd take a good old bite out of you. Now, you know, the G-Force was an interesting head. One reason that defenders did like it, you know, for a stick from kind of 2006, this is really stiff. This is actually a really stiff head, because there was a lot of floppy heads on the market still, you know, in the early 2000s. And this was a stiff head. I'm just going to have a quick look and see what the marketing for the G-Force was at the time here. So let's have a look what they say. Developed in collaboration with Gary Gait, the most powerful force in lacrosse. Elastometer-overmolded nylon teeth eliminate ball rattle and spin in the pocket for improved control. Now, if you have a look at this, you might be able to tell, but you see here, they're kind of angled over. Now, whether that was to kind of like keep the ball in the stick, if it kind of rattled around on a check maybe, don't know. There was a lot of gimmicky heads around in the early 2000s. Was this one of them? Don't know. I think the G-Force is a pretty legit head, to be honest. The overmolding, again, you know, there's a bit more bump here about the overmold. Overmold angled sidewall arches increase ball retention, there we go, and allow for the maximum in-pocket swing for stronger cradling. Not quite sure what that's meant to mean. Multiple string hole configuration allows for customization of the pockets for every player's need. I mean, again, for ahead of its time, you know, it did have quite a few stringer holes, but the stringer holes are kind of laid out in a weird way. And again, you'll see here, if I just pop the pocket in slightly, maybe you can get a better look. But these teeth are kind of on the underside, and the holes, the stringer holes, are actually kind of through those teeth. So not only do you have this kind of, you know, row of teeth on the top, it's got a row of teeth on the bottom too. So, and it does say here, let's have a look, braced head design is stiff and strong for maximum response in the toughest conditions imaginable. So, you know, as I said, pretty stiff head. I am going to look out for a Gen 1, because I have a feeling the only difference was that it didn't come with the rubber bits. I know that there was only a very, very short run of the original first gen G-Force. So if you happen to have one, hit me up. I've got to admit, I kind of forgot I even had this G-force. I've just been doing a bit of clearing out of my collection and moving some stuff around and restringing a few old heads just to kind of pretty them up a little bit. And realised I did have a G-force after all. So interesting head. Was it a gimmick? I'm not sure. I think it was a pretty decent head, to be honest. The little T things, I don't know. I never personally used one of these heads, so don't know, they might have been prone to cracking. I suspect that if they did, it would be the lower rail ones. Interestingly, never noticed this before. So just putting a bit of pressure on, having said it was quite, dropping the phone, quite a strong head. These teeth on the bottom, there's a fair bit of movement on there when you press them. So, no, it's kind of interesting for such a stiff head, then for the plastic on this bottom bit to kind of move around so much. I don't know. Well, interesting head, the G-force. Strung up with quite a nice pocket. I think there's, what is it? This looks like Hero 2 in this one, put in this. But interesting head, one of many that Gary Gait actually designed in collaboration with STX.